no place like the Q. Family, it's your favorite queer radio personality, Anna DeShawn, and this is Queer News, your favorite weekly news pod where race and sexuality meet politics, culture, and entertainment.
So fuck your hateful legislation, fuck your hateful rhetoric, fuck your Project 2025, because we got an antidote to that shit. And fuck any thoughts that you had about my gender, my body, my choices, and what the fuck you thought my future was gonna be.
Chilli, okay? What Raquel said. That was a portion of Raquel Willis's speech, co-founder of the first ever Gender Liberation March that took place on Saturday, September the 14th in Washington, D.C. We will be telling you more about that later in the show. And yes, I did say we, because we have a new contributor joining us on the show. Family, I want y'all to meet Benjamin. We are so happy to have Benjamin with us, talking all things culture and entertainment from time to time. Benjamin, can you tell the good people a little about yourself?
What's up, y'all? It's your boy, Benjamin Coy. I'm a fashion creative, digital organizer, and one half of the Cocktails and Culture podcast, coming to you from Washington, D.C. Anna, I'm so excited to be joining the team and bringing y'all the pop culture tea. So get those teacups and let me fill you up.
Yes, I love the tea. I love tea. Actually, I really do love tea. I don't like coffee at all. And then I like this tea too. So, and I know, family, you all will love Benjamin as well. All right, don't forget, the Queer News tip line is open and a link is in the show notes. Now, QCrew, what's going on? Thank you for helping to financially sustain this podcast. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I quite literally could not do this work without the QCrew and their financial support with hosting, editing, marketing, PR, travel, Chile, all of it, okay? And so if you listen to this podcast and you believe in the work we do, if you believe LGBTQ stories need to be amplified, if you love and respect how I report on the news and tell our stories, join the QCrew. A link is in the show notes. And family, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's been blowing up. We hit 500 subscribers. Yes, we on the road to monetization. That's my goal. All right. The channel is E3 Radio, and turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. Now for the news. A Black trans woman was murdered in my hometown of Chicago. Let's talk about it. In politics, an Arizona court rules in favor of 2 trans girls who just want to play sports. In culture and entertainment, we remember the Chicago legend and female impersonator herself, Chilli Pepper. The Gender Liberation Movement held its first march in D.C. And let's talk about the VMAs. Was it the queerest one ever? That's what I heard. Chile Benjamin gonna break it all down. So let's go. Family, our top story for today is about a Black trans woman who was murdered on the west side of Chicago. Her name is Red. She was also known as Barbie, and she was 26 years old. The story goes that she was hanging out with her friends. Okay, the weather's been nice here in Chicago. She was hanging out with friends on the corner on the west side, and they were just kicking it. They say that a man came up that they didn't recognize. And I think one thing that's really important is in these communities, especially in poor folks communities, Chile, everybody know everybody. If you outside, everybody know who you are. They know who your parents are. I mean, that is still very real. And so when the friends report that they didn't recognize him, I think that's really important because you usually know who the people are on your block. And so they say that he came up trying to talk to somebody, kind of trying to holler at a girl. And then 30 minutes later, he showed back up with a rifle. They said that he just kept shooting. The police found 15 rifle shell casings, and Red was killed on that corner. Her friends that were with her, they said after the first shot, everybody ran, but she was hit in the legs, and so she couldn't run. And when they came back, they found her body. This last week, they held a balloon release for Red at Task Force Prevention and Community Services. It's a wonderful nonprofit based in Chicago, serving the communities on the West Side. And I honestly think they're just one of maybe 2 organizations doing that for the LGBTQ community. Red's cousin said this: "I do feel like it was a hate crime." That's what her cousin said. And her cousin Mariah went on to say, "I want to start bringing awareness that people are really attacking that community. I want people to know that they are being attacked." Her friends remembered her as a kind and loving person. And one friend in particular, Trayvon Pope, said she wanted to be loved and respected. That's how she was. That's the one thing she didn't play about. She loved and respected people. Family, currently no one is in custody, but today, Red, we speak your name. In politics, let's talk Arizona, ruling on behalf and in favor of 2 trans girls who just want to play sports. Now, would I think that this would have been upheld in Arizona? But guess what? Sometimes I am also surprised by the news. So this Arizona appeals court upheld a preliminary injunction, to pause the implementation of the Save Women's Sports Act. I hate these names because you actually think it might be something good. Save Women's Sports Act. It sounds like something positive, when in fact it is not. It is literally meant to just demonize and further marginalize trans youth. So this act basically says that you have to play on the sports team that is in alignment with your sex at birth. Yeah, so it's just politicians continuing to demonize a marginalized group of folks. They've been really great at that. But in this case, these 3 judges saw right through it. They wrote a 55-page opinion on the matter as well, saying that girls just didn't have an advantage. And I want to actually quote one of the circuit judges, Morgan Christian. Judge Christian wrote, "Transgender girls who have not undergone male puberty do not have an athletic advantage over other girls." And family, guess what? This is what we already know to be true. But here we are, continuing to attack the most vulnerable. So I'm so happy these judges saw right through the BS, right? And allowing these girls to be able to play on the sports teams that align with who they are. And these girls are being represented by NCLR. Have y'all heard of them? If you listen to this podcast, you have. They are the National Center for Lesbian Rights. And an attorney for NCLR, Rachel Berg, said this: "Our clients are thrilled to be able to continue to play on girls' sports teams with their friends while this case proceeds to trial." These 2 girls are 12 and 16. And all they want to do is play on their sports teams with their friends. And you know who has a problem? 1 or 2 parents. 1 or 2 parents have a problem. That's usually how this goes. I'm happy for them. I'm happy for them. Way to go, judges. I see you, Arizona. I see you. And family, real quick, let me give y'all our weekly election update. I guess that's what I've been doing, and I will continue to do it. We are 49 days away from the presidential election. Let me just go over a couple of the top news stories from this past week. On Sunday, I received an alert from my friend that there was another assassination attempt on Donald Trump's life. This time he was at the golf course. This time Secret Service saw the rifle. They fired at the assailant. That assailant ran. They put out a bolo in Chile. He was caught within minutes. Yes, Trump is safe and unharmed. And I'm sitting here wondering, has a president or former president ever been shot at twice ever? Maybe once. I know Obama leads the category in the number of death threats. But still, there was never a direct attempt on his life. Like, this is the second time. Who is trying to take this man out? I know it's real easy for Republicans or MAGA or Fox to try to say maybe it's the Democrats or Child, most liberals don't even like guns. So it's wild. It's really wild. What is happening? We still got 49 days to the election. I don't think this man is safe. I think this man needs to stay inside somewhere. He need to do virtual rallies. Virtual. Seriously. Because now our taxpayer dollars are going to protect this man. And from where I sit, he ain't doing nothing to protect me and the people I love. And yet I digress. Also, this past week in election news, Taylor Swift, okay, one day the queers felt betrayed. That's what that them headline said. It said, queer fans feel betrayed by Taylor Swift's literal embrace of Brittany Mahomes. That was one story one day. The next story was Taylor Swift posting that selfie of her and her cat being a cat lady endorsing Kamala Harris. And she made the queers happy again. You know, she did a thing. And I heard a report that after she made that post, 300,000 people hit the vote website to register and to learn more information. So clearly, the Swifties were listening. And now I think it's a great time to take a quick break. And when we get back, we're going to jump into culture and entertainment.
Welcome to Joy in the Breakthrough, a podcast where we'll be talking to a wide range of leaders from different generations and backgrounds. Leaders who have found power in being broken open. I'm Connie Lindsay.
And I'm Anna Valencia. We are your hosts, and we believe that our challenges can lead to breakthroughs, and we want to share these insights with you.
We hope these stories will inspire you to find the I'm possible in you.
Listen to Joy in the Breakthrough on Thursdays and follow them on social media at JoyITBPod. Listen inside the queue or wherever you get your podcasts. If you're hearing this, it means we didn't sell this ad space. If you're hearing this, it means running ads on our podcast actually can work. You see what I did there? You see this real life example? You got an event, do you have an organization, do you got something you need to get the word out about? We got rates starting as low as $100. Check the link in our show notes for more information. Family, welcome back to the show. Now let's jump into some culture and entertainment. And how could I start this portion of the show without honoring the icon, the legend that is Chilli Pepper? I've had the honor of meeting Chilli Pepper. I've had the honor of seeing Chilli Pepper perform at the Baton Show Lounge. And she was just everything. She broke glass ceilings that people never thought would be broken. She entered rooms as a female impersonator that nobody ever thought the room would be open to. So many female impersonators, drag performers, drag artists owe their careers to Chilli Pepper. Now, if you have never heard of Chilli Pepper, well, let me just give you the rundown, okay? She was at the center of putting the Baton Show Lounge on the map. And if you have never heard of the Baton Show Lounge, let me break it down to you. It is the longest running drag show in the United States. The longest running drag show in the United States. And it's right here in Chicago. It's not in San Francisco. It is not in New York. And it is not in Atlanta. It is in Chicago. And Chilli Pepper had been performing there for almost 4 decades. And the Baton Chile, it would be popping, okay? Madonna would drop in from time to time. Janet Jackson would come through from time to time. It is just always been a star-filled place. Chilli Pepper was the first Miss Continental in 1980, which is now a world-renowned, okay, pageant. She appeared on Phil Donahue, Jerry Springer, Oprah Winfrey, okay? Her and Oprah were friends. Even recently, earlier this year, I talked about Chilli Pepper on this here podcast because Oprah herself asked Chilli Pepper to actually present her with the Vanguard Award at the GLAAD Media Awards. And it was funny because Oprah didn't know Chilli Pepper didn't like to fly. She didn't like to be in elevators, none of that. And so Chilli Pepper actually rode the train for 3 days. 3 days. So that she could be there to present that award to Oprah on the GLAAD Media stage. Can you believe that? Her last performance was at Howard Brown Health here in Chicago at a gala that took place on May 18th at the Park West. Andrea Billings, the actress, wrote, "I absolutely believe that without hesitation that my career would not have been remarkably close to what it has been without Chilli Pepper and her guidance." Famed LGBTQ media maven, Tracy Bain, said, "She will never be replicated. What she did for our community was truly selfless. You can't underestimate the power of entertainment to change the world." Chilli Pepper was one of a kind. And guess what? She never told her age. Okay, so even right now, as I'm reporting on this story, I have no idea how old Chilli Pepper was. She told everybody for years she was 39, and she's been 39, I think, for probably 39 years. But what we know for sure is that she had a life well lived. Yes, and she blessed so many people with her gift. Chilli Pepper, we thank you. Well done. Well done. For our next story, let's talk about the gender liberation movement. Yes, it is an innovative, grassroots, volunteer-led national collective. And they just held their first Gender Liberation March. And our new contributor to the podcast, Benjamin Coy, was actually there on the ground in Washington, D.C. Let's hear Benjamin's report about the Gender Liberation March.
On Saturday, September 14th, the Gender Liberation Movement had their first ever Gender Liberation March, fighting against the bans on abortion, gender-affirming care, and all other attempts to limit our ability to live and express ourselves and how we choose to live. I was so excited to be there amongst all the folks who just want to fight for our collective freedom. This march included voices like Elliot Page, Miss Major, Raquel Willis was an organizer, and they also had performances by Peppermint, the House of Miyake Mugler, Junior Mint, and so many other talented individuals. It was truly a beautiful day and a wonderful reminder of what collective care, what community care, and what love looks like.
Thank you so much, Benjamin, for that report. I'm so glad that you were able to have your feet on the ground and have that amazing experience. And I really love how you ended your story saying that it showed us how and what love can actually look like, right? So family, for me, love is action. It is doing something. And I want y'all to remember, if you hear the story about the march, you're like, oh, I can never go march. That's okay. Marching is not everybody's jam, but you are called to do something. You're called to do something. The worst thing we can do is nothing. Yes? It's being reported that over 2,000 people attended this march, which is outstanding, okay? And they marched not only in DC, but you know where else they went? They went in front of the Heritage Foundation offices. Yes, they did. And they didn't just march there. They chanted outside of those offices. They danced outside of those offices. They vogued outside of those offices. And if you don't know, the Heritage Foundation is the group that wrote Project 2025. And they went there and they demanded that they hear them. And I love everything about that. The key issues of this march were reproductive justice, gender-affirming care, and true liberation for all. Thank you to the organizers of this movement, of this march, and I look forward to what they're going to do next. Because what we know is that there is plenty to fight for. Yes? Yes. Now for this next story, I'm going to turn it over to Benjamin again. I mean, this is what we do in this episode. He's going to give us a full rundown of the 40th MTV Music Awards. I heard it might have been the queerest one ever. But let's hear what Benjamin has to say. Give us the tea, honey. Give us the tea.
The 2024 Video Music Awards was a whole spectacle, and in true fashion, they brought the heat. Big congratulations to Megan Thee Stallion for hosting the show. She looked amazing in every single look. My personal favorite was her red carpet look. She wore a black Nicole and Felicia mermaid cut gown and looked effortlessly gorgeous. It's no surprise that Taylor Swift, yet again, dominated this year's awards. She is now the most awarded solo acts from the VMAs, surpassing Beyonce, who was once the most awarded VMA act. Also, congratulations to Chappell Rowan, who won Best New Artist, Tyla, who won in the Afrobeats category for Water, and Katy Perry, the 2024 Michael Jackson Video Vanguard Award recipient. Now, I wouldn't go that far to say that this was the queerest VMAs. There were certainly a lot of queer-coded moments. Chappell Rowan was really the only artist that got on stage and spoke directly to the queer and trans community. Other folks like Lil Nas X was there in his queerest forms. But yeah, this was not the queerest VMAs in my humble opinion. There were queer-coded moments, like I said. I'm thinking specifically of the performance with Katy Perry and Doechii. They performed their new song, I'm His, He's Mine. And if you watch that, exactly what I'm talking about. Duran Bernard had a big year. Victoria Monet had a big year. And they didn't receive any love from the VMAs this year. So would not call it the queerest VMAs, but it was certainly a good time, a good award show to watch. The VMAs are always a reminder of why we love music and music videos. It's about pushing boundaries and creating moments that we'll be talking about forever. So, yeah. Again, I'm Benjamin Coy, and this has been your dose of all things fabulous and fierce in pop culture. Stay tuned for more because you know we always keep it lively here on the Queer News Podcast. Bye.
Well, I guess it wasn't the queerest one ever, but here's to me going to find that Katy Perry Doechii performance. Let me go do that. Google ASAP. Now, family, you know it's that time of the show for Anna's Got a Word because Anna's always got a word. And when I went to look at our calendar, I was reminded that this upcoming week is Bisexuality Awareness Week. It runs from September 16th through September 23rd. And September 23rd is actually Bisexuality Awareness Day. And so for my word, I want y'all to know that it's okay to be you. It's okay to own your bisexuality. Growing up, you know, as a young queer, people be like, either you straight or you gay. Ain't no in between. I almost said so many things. Please, okay? There's so much in between. We are beautifully fluid. We are beautifully who we want to be. And don't let anyone tell you anything different. And I want you to know, bisexuality, okay, leads the way. More people identify as bisexual than any other alphabet in our beautiful alphabet soup, okay? There are more bisexuals than anyone else. And so for this week, let us celebrate all of our bisexuals. Yes, those who choose to speak out, fight against the norm, and speak their truth out loud. You can do it, family. You can. And if you're not ready yet, don't worry. We're here waiting on you with open arms, okay? Because we all deserve the right to live our full and authentic selves. Period. That's my word. I look forward to coming back next week. And follow the YouTube, y'all. I got it popping. I think it's working. Talk to y'all next week. Peace. If you've enjoyed what you heard, rate and review us inside your favorite podcasting app. This podcast is written and produced by me, Anna DeShawn. Podcast editing by Ryan Woodhall. And brought to you by E3 Radio and distributed on The Cube. We are Queer News Done Right.